Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, the Lotus Doll Shop's Balanced Lifestyle channel. Thanks for joining me today. If you're new here, I'm Vaughn. I hope my lighting's decent. It's a Sunday morning here and I wanted to kind of share some stuff with you guys. If you're new here, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, give me a thumbs up. We're gonna have some real talk over here, just like the title says, a little mental health chat, real talk. So here we go. All right, so guys, as many of you know already, those of you who are current subscribers know that I lost my fiance last year. And as I told you guys, I had sought counseling immediately after because I knew that I couldn't handle it on my own. Now, months after that, I also lost my last living grandmother, my last living grandparent, which also took its toll because I had also already lost somebody extremely important in my life. And then my grandmother passed. We knew that she was aging, and with age comes the possibility of passing on. So in the midst of all of that, it has been June was a year since Andre, my ex-fiance, passed away. And I've been doing really good at sticking to therapy, sticking to counseling. Guys, if you're here in the Georgia area, my counseling is through Lifestance Health Group. I'm not sure if they have, if Lifestance is available in other areas. I know that it's affordable, and I know that my counselor is outstanding. She is really helping me. So if you're looking for that, I'll put some information at the end of the video so that anybody who's out there who's going through something and you feel like you need to talk to somebody, you don't have to let everybody know that you're seeking counseling, because some people still find that this is taboo. We like to play this I can handle it myself thing, especially I'm Black American. So as a Black American, we really do the I can handle this by myself thing. And my counselor has made me see that that is not true. No, you can't. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. Apparently I was thinking that I was moving past the grief process. They say it takes between 2 and 7 years. I bought a book called I Wasn't Ready to Say Goodbye, and in the book there are a couple of different points that list the different stages of grief that you could go through. Apparently I just thought I was better, and it turns out my therapist is pulling things out of me that have absolutely nothing to do with my ex's passing. These are things that came from childhood. Some things happened after he passed that I saw in other people that I couldn't believe I saw, but I needed to see it. And then for me telling her about those things, it pulled some other things out of me that I didn't know that I was dealing with. Okay, so this past week I had a great counseling session with her. These are the notes. You can't see it because this is the stuff that I'm struggling with here. Well, first of all, you saw on the end, she asked me, was I should consider getting a pet, to just have somebody, because I've just been working on content creating, my affiliate marketing. I have been working on my screenwriting. I got some classes coming up for that. I've been doing a lot And it turns out that what I haven't been doing is attending to my emotions, is what she's calling it. I've been so busy, or maybe it's on purpose, that the major thing that I'm still dealing with, guys, in terms of grief is anger. So I have accepted that Dre is gone. I've accepted that he is not going to be the man that I'm going to spend the rest of my life in holy matrimony with. And that's cool. It wasn't meant to be. I've accepted that part. But there's an anger that still lives there that my counselor and I talked about. And I remember one conversation we had, and she was talking about how, I just kept telling her, I just jumped right back in. I gave myself 2 weeks, after he passed, after we buried him. I gave myself 2 weeks of doing nothing, of just sitting with what happened. And she said, I don't know anybody who grieves in 2 weeks. So, okay, that was problem number one. Problem number two was, I told her, I owe it to him to be strong and I owe it to myself to be strong and move forward and do this. And she said, she said, like, you being strong for who? For somebody else? What she pulled out the fact that I was avoiding my feelings. I was avoiding the anger that I felt. And I would tell her, when I would have a thought about him, about something we did, something that had a little feeling, that drummed up the feeling, I pushed it down instead of letting it out, letting it up and out, because it's very important, I found, and especially as a Black American woman. And shout out to Andre's brother's wife for telling me Black women have a big problem with that I gotta be strong thing. And to other women out there, whether you're Black or not, and who may have had to deal with loss, whether it's just losing a relationship, not necessarily that your guy died or like what my situation was. Strength is vulnerability. That's it. Strength is vulnerability. She told me, my counselor, that I had to, when the feeling comes, stop and address it. Stop and address it. Cry. That's what you need to do, cry. If you need to, it's so funny, but she told me, girl, if you need to grab a pillow and scream into it, that's what you need to do what you need to do to feel better. And she said, eventually, you will come into that full acceptance of everything that's happened. Now, honey, my vulnerability, it was part of losing him, but I wasn't being vulnerable when him and I met in terms of relationships at all. So we talked about losing him, but at the same time, she pulled me backwards to before I even met him and said, And we started to talk about my upbringing, my parents, the fact that my parents were divorced, like a whole bunch of parents in the 70s, child, okay? In that my mother was there, my father was a father, but he did not live in the house with us. Naturally, the parent that you're estranged from, you don't have that much you don't have that much vulnerability and trust in that parent, with that parent. And naturally, when a little girl doesn't have that deep relationship with her father, it could leave her not knowing men, if that makes any sense. So I think my parents' relationship had a lot to do with me not being vulnerable and not being trusting. When I met Dre, I wasn't being vulnerable. I didn't recognize him for who he was, for how he was and who he was trying to be to me, because I was too busy, quote unquote, being strong. That's how that works. So it's all kind of fitting together. I was avoiding getting into relationships. I was avoiding being vulnerable. I had issues with control. If you give only so much of yourself, you feel like you can control the situation. But when it comes, especially when it comes to love, you can't be like this. You can't be like that, because that's not how it works. Love is godly. And when you find someone that wants to make love with you, and I mean not falling in love, because I believe love is something you make. It's not something you find. When you find that other person, your heart is open, their heart is open, and you want to create something, you have to be vulnerable, because that is going to be your life partner. So you're only going to give so much of yourself. And so basically, guys, I just wanted to say that one, deal with your emotions. This is the LDS Balanced Lifestyle channel. So we talk about all facets of life on here. We were talking about all facets of life before Andre passed. But things have gotten deeper, guys. Because I don't know if you believe or not, God is showing me something. So back to my counselor. We were talking about the issues of dating again, going out, meeting people. Real talk. Every time I say I'm gonna go out, because I love comedy shows, I love music, live music, I love music festivals, I love all kinds of festivals. And if they got food, I'm there. Y'all been on my Instagram at L.A.L Love and Life, and if you haven't, you need to go over there. Y'all know I do the food. So every time I say I'm gonna step out and go and do that, it could be a Friday night. Now, one Friday night I actually did take myself to dinner. And the funny thing is, I was doing all of that stuff just fine before I met Dre. If I felt like I wanted to go to a club, I felt like dancing, I went. If I felt like I wanted to go somewhere to get a drink, I went. I felt like I wanted to go somewhere and eat, I went. But I think the fact that for 7 years I had someone there with me all the time, so naturally, you're human, you get used to that, So I've just been trying to open myself up to meeting new guys, meeting people. Honey, not to toot my own horn, but I got options in the DM. But I know a lot of women out there have options in the DM. And on TikTok now. Okay? But just because you got options doesn't mean they're the best options, So you have to kind of play it by ear. I don't want this situation to leave me feeling guarded. And sorry, I didn't mean to call my fiance passing a situation, but it happened. It wasn't something that happened in my life. You never want that to leave you feeling guarded, but at the same time, dude set the bar with what men are supposed to be doing in your life and how they're supposed to be treating you. He set the bar. And I can't compare other guys to him, obviously, because that's not fair. But as far as the basics, the foundation of what a man is supposed to be bringing into my life, he set the bar. So now I'm cautious. I'm even more cautious. But I still am working on the vulnerability and trust part of that. And trying not to avoid meeting people because of what my former situation was, and now that I know I have issues with vulnerability, trust, and control. Now that you know that, it makes you think about things differently when you're meeting new people. So, bottom line, guys, if you are dealing with something and you feel like there's nowhere to turn, because sometimes those are things that we're dealing with that other people will never understand. And then too, those other people may not have had all of your experiences that make up who you are. So you have to deal with your stuff individually. And when it comes to counseling and therapy, you have to let the counselor in. You have to let your therapist in. And again, there goes that vulnerability for me. It took months for she and I was giving her the borders of my relationships with my mother, my father. I was giving her the borders, but I wasn't really letting her in. And there's still some stuff that I probably should tell her so she could better pull it out of me as to what's going on. But you have to let your counselor in. Now, people who are trained to deal with the human mind, I prefer as my therapist or my counselor. If you need help, go to people who are trained to deal with the human mind. And that is all I'm going to say. You could have your religion, you could have your spirituality, which I have. Thank God for meditation and learning about the chakras, because I said I'm balanced. So if I'm going to say I'm balanced, and I'm telling you guys I'm balanced, that means everything from here to my root needs to be balanced out. Everything, all of my experiences are part of all of these chakras that I got going on. And now that I'm starting to understand that, I can be a more balanced individual. So, if you are dealing with something mentally, it's important to go and get help. I'm speaking to everyone, but I'm specifically speaking to Black American people and Black American women. We have stuff that stems from way back that is affecting our subconscious. There is such a thing called genetic memory. A lot of people don't want to believe in it, but it's there. It's there. Because there are a lot of us who don't believe in ourselves and don't believe that we need help. But when you do, you do. So where I am is I have accepted that Dre is gone. I have accepted that I have anger issues surrounding his death because I didn't get the outcome that I thought that I deserved, and that's selfish in and of itself. Woo! So I know I have to deal with that, and I do real talk over here. I am moving towards letting go of the anger and forgiving my past from way back, whether it was my mother and my father, their situation. I'm working on all of that. But the thing that I was told to do, whether it has to do with Dre, whether it has to do with my parents, stop and address the feelings. Attend to my emotions daily. I want to share that with you guys. Stop and address your feelings. Nobody has to be around. Attend to your emotions every day, just like you eat. I'm learning how to do that, and I hope that you guys will do that in your everyday lives. I am going to, again, attach life stance health groups information at the end of this video. If you guys need help out there, go get it. It's okay. It's okay. Because I want all of us to walk around balanced in our lives and being happy, healthy individuals. So I hope that you guys are following me at L.A.L Love and Life on IG and both over on TikTok. Because, you know, let's just share. Let's just share information. Let's just share. So I wish you all well out there, and I wish you happy mental health, good mental health, and I hope that you all balance your life in style. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope that you will subscribe, hit that notification bell, give me a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. It helps me stay within the algorithm, and it helps people to discover what I do over here at the LDS Balanced Lifestyle channel. And share my videos with family and friends who enjoy beauty and lifestyle content. And finally, leave me a comment. If you're going through something out there, let's talk about it. I don't have a problem with it. I'm going to say what, and who knows, you might say something to me that moves my spirit. So I appreciate you guys for subscribing, following, talking to me. The well-wishers out there, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.